So we're on the Bridger-Teton National Forest, and we're using GPS equipment to measure survey markers. So Congress has designated wild and scenic river corridors up here on the Bridger-Teton, and we are measuring survey points to get precise locations that we can use in a legal description that we will create, and we will send back to Congress those legal descriptions together with a map of record showing where these wild and scenic river corridors are and describing them in detail. So what we do is we set up these GPS receivers, and they log data that's being transmitted by the GPS satellites. And so basically this is like a listening station, and it logs data for 1 to 2 hours, usually 2 hours. And then we will take all that data back to the office and process it together, and we will wind up with a very precise location, a coordinate on the surface of the Earth. We have set this survey up so that gathering this data over this amount of time, when we process all the data together that we gather this week, we should wind up with locations on each point that are precise to within the size of a dime. And that's over probably 100 miles from the one end of the project to the other, from Alpine in the south to the boundary of Yellowstone in the north. So the relative position between those 2 points will be within, the width of a thumb, about a centimeter or 2, which is pretty amazing. So that's why we do the legal descriptions for these wild and scenic rivers, is to describe where the limits of that wild and scenic river corridor is. And these points that we're measuring this week, they support those locations and identifying those positions with highly accurate positions, and allowing surveyors in the future to come and mark the limits of the wild and scenic rivers where they really are, starting from these positions that we're measuring this week. These wild and scenic river corridors are special areas that have been set aside by Congress, and in collaboration with the forest has determined the shape and position of these areas that ought to be protected to preserve both wild values, scenic values, and also recreational values. So we're really quite excited as surveyors to be able to support that and to document for the future with a map, with a legal description, and with these precise positions where those corridors are that will be protected for the American public.